6 years in court, 3 corruption cases, 0 convictions. And now, Benjamin Netanyahu just did something no sitting Israeli prime minister has ever done. He's asking for a pardon while still on trial. On November 30th, Netanyahu submitted a formal request to Israeli President Isaac Herzog, complete with a 111-page petition. The twist: just 17 days earlier, Netanyahu said he wouldn't seek a pardon if it meant admitting guilt. So what changed? Here's what's actually happening, why it matters now, and what it reveals about power and accountability. Netanyahu's trial began in 2020. He faces 1 bribery charge and 3 counts each of fraud and breach of trust. The allegations: exchanging political favors for luxury goods worth over $260,000, cigars, jewelry, champagne, and attempting to negotiate favorable media coverage. He remains the only sitting prime minister in Israel's history to stand trial and has not been convicted. On November 30th, Netanyahu announced the pardon submission in a video statement. The trial has been ongoing for nearly 6 years and is expected to continue for many more years. The continuation of the trial is tearing us apart from within, arousing fierce divisions. The president's office called it an extraordinary request, which carries with it significant implications. This follows a revealing timeline. On November 12th, Donald Trump wrote to Herzog urging Israel to pardon Netanyahu, dismissing charges as political and unjustified. 1 day later, on November 13th, Netanyahu publicly stated he would not seek a pardon if it meant acknowledging guilt. 17 days later, that position reversed completely. Netanyahu, 76, is Israel's longest-serving premier, with over 18 years across 3 terms. He's indicated he'll stand in elections due before the end of 2026. According to his statement, testifying 3 times weekly has become an impossible requirement. Here's the political calculation. Netanyahu's supporters dismiss the trials as politically motivated. Opposition leader Yair Lapid immediately responded, "You cannot grant Netanyahu a pardon without an admission of guilt, an expression of remorse, and an immediate withdrawal from political life." Left-wing leader Yair Golan wrote on X, "Only someone guilty asks for a pardon." After 8 years of trial, when the cases against him have not collapsed, Netanyahu is now asking for a pardon. Israeli law allows presidential pardons, but they traditionally require admitting guilt. Netanyahu wants charges dropped without that admission, an unprecedented ask setting a dangerous precedent. Beyond the courtroom lies a deeper pattern. During his current term, starting in 2022, Netanyahu proposed sweeping judicial reforms that critics said aimed to weaken the courts, sparking massive protests only curtailed after October 7, 2023. When a leader facing corruption charges attempts to restructure the judiciary hearing his case, that's self-preservation dressed as policy. The Trump letter reveals international political pressure being applied to dismiss domestic criminal proceedings, without addressing the actual evidence of over $260,000 in luxury goods and documented media manipulation attempts. Netanyahu's claim that the trial creates divisions inverts reality. The corruption allegations didn't create Israel's rifts, they exposed them. What's not being reported: this pardon request comes as Gaza's death toll, according to UNRWA on November 26, approaches 70,000 Palestinians killed. Netanyahu wants domestic legal troubles to disappear precisely when international scrutiny intensifies. Let's be clear, this pardon request won't necessarily succeed. Herzog faces immense pressure from both sides, Netanyahu's base demanding dismissal, opposition demanding accountability. But here's what's already happened. A prime minister on trial for corruption just argued that accountability itself threatens national security. That framing is dangerous anywhere, but particularly in a state currently facing international scrutiny over potential war crimes in Gaza. Understanding this matters because it's not just about Netanyahu. It's about whether powerful leaders can suspend justice by invoking crisis, real or manufactured. Herzog's decision will answer one question: does power place you above the law, or demand you be held to a higher standard? Netanyahu is betting on the former. History suggests that's rarely a safe bet. Accountability delayed isn't accountability denied. It's just accountability that takes longer and burns hotter.